They are coming.
No, they're actually here, but we're not talking about orcs, we're talking about cosmic legions, and you need to get them now before they're sold out everywhere and you're left having to scramble and buy them on eBay. What's up, everyone? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. We are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. Warning, I am going to mess up nearly every name that the Four Horsemen made up for these characters, planets, and places. It's who I am, it's what I do. Remember, I'm the Count Dooku guy. Even worse, possibly, I'll probably call them different wrong names each time, so you've been warned. Mythic Legions, created by the incredible Four Horsemen Studios, is second to none in terms of action figure quality and design. The problem is they're made in pretty limited quantity, so it's tough to find them for prices less than 3 times the original price after the initial offering. Well, the toy collecting gods have smiled upon us, and Cosmic Legions is here. So this is a brand new line of sci-fi action figures from Four Horsemen Studios, and this is the first wave of figures that were just recently announced. And guess what, folks? Nerdzoic Toys is proud to announce that we are carrying this line in its entirety, and they're now up for pre-order at nerdzoic.com. The question is, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, how long will they last? How long until they're completely sold out? I don't know. I don't have an endless supply bought, so we'll see. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't wait, go pre-order the second this video ends. Personally, I'm planning on being 100% all in on this line for my personal collection. I didn't find out about Mythic Legions till too late, and I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on a figure that retailed for $40. I'm just not doing it. Now, this is a chance to get in on the ground level. If that sounds good to you, this is the line for you. Don't have FOMO later. We can get in on this now. Be like me, be smart. Because here's the deal. If you end up not wanting these later, you can just sell them and you'll probably make a profit. Much like Galactus, where I said, hey, listen, get it now, decide later. This is also very similar to that. So if you're completely new to this and you're like, Big Nerdy, what the hell are Cosmic Legions? Don't worry, I got you covered. We're gonna spend the rest of this video talking about the line, the figures, and what you can expect from them. So this line is years in the making, and it features all of the trademark things that you'd expect to see coming out of Four Horsemen Studios. Very similar in a lot of ways to Mythic Legions, which is based on a fantasy, almost He-Man-like feel to the characters, whereas this is sci-fi, so think more Star Wars, alien type stuff. So as we look at these, you're gonna notice a couple things. First off, there is a major focus on army builders, or as they call them, legion builders, because that's the idea here. Build up a whole army of these things. They're also highly customizable, so your entire army doesn't have the same face. You can make them all a little bit different, which makes for a really cool looking army. Now, if you are a collector who just sets up dios, perfect line. If you're a collector who's into photography, amazing line. Similar to Mythic Legions, there is a whole backstory and storyline. There's a lore, if you will, to the characters. And each time you buy a figure, they'll have a little bio and you'll learn more about the lore. These characters are set in a whole new world known as the 𝐒𝐈𝐒𝐢𝐴𝐻. The first wave, we're getting a grand total of 11 figures, 9 standard figures, 1 ogre-sized figure, and 1 large-sized figure. We're also gonna get 3 different weapon/hand accessory packs. One of the things they do, that's kind of like a Four Horsemen toy line thing, if you will, is they organize the characters into groups and affiliations. Right now, we know that there's going to be 8 affiliations. We even know the names for them, but we only know about 2 of them at this point, and a tiny bit about one of the others. First off, there's the TU5CC, which stands for the Traders Union of the 5 Circles of 𝐒𝐈𝐒𝐢𝐴𝐻. The TU5CC is an alliance of private firms seeking to expand and promote trade amongst the 5 rings. Seemingly united under a larger clandestine leadership umbrella, the individual operational incomes are tithed to the Union. So basically, this sounds like it's the Space Mafia. One of the more infamous institutions operating under the TU5CC banner is the maximum security prison called 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻. I know I said that wrong. 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻. You think 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿? Call the Horsemen. Woo! Nope, not those horsemen. In addition to the primary function of this place being a place to house and rehabilitate criminals, the prison also facilitates and manufactures the sale of industrial products such as starship components, pharmaceuticals, and weapons. Although all of these appear to be legitimate, there are dubious rumors that there's bad things going on below the surface. Our next faction is the Grave Ring, which is named after the bottommost layer of the prison. If you're part of this faction, well, life probably sucks for you. Those unfortunate to be locked up in this prison not only find themselves relegated to a life of punishing labor and agonizing isolation, but even worse, they could be forced to spar for the entertainment of the staff and other prisoners. The brutal fighting arena that these unlucky few face off in is known as the Grave, hence the name of the lowermost ring of the prison, the Grave Ring. With the entire cell block boiling over with an impending sense of doom, the prisoners that call the Grave Ring their home tend to form unbreakable camaraderies. Oftentimes, the arena prematurely cuts those bonds short. But in the case of those sworn to Olek Tiger, those bonds have transformed from a loose kinship into an organized and focused team that takes its name from their own humble beginnings, the Grave Ring. The final faction that's coming out as part of this wave is the Mortal Thorn, and we know nothing about it. The actual bio says intelligence gathering underway. Now that we know about the factions, let's talk about the figures. First off, affiliated with the TU5CC, High Warden Sloth. The hulkering commander of the prison, High Warden Sloth is a brutal tyrant not to be defied. This is probably my favorite figure of the wave. He looks amazing. He's also, of course, the most expensive one. He comes with 2 heads, 2 hands, and a data screen accessory. Next up is Kragnar. He lives down in the bottom layer of the prison and fights in the Grave Ring. He is one of the star attractions in the brutal battleground and is a massive 4-armed behemoth. This is the large figure in the wave, so not as big as High Warden Slug, but he's bigger than everything else. He comes with a club, 6 sets of hands, and 2 heads. Next up is Olek Tiger, whose affiliation is also the Grave Ring. Waking up dazed and distressed in an unfamiliar darkness, Olek Tiger is unknowingly at the threshold of a life forever changed. He comes with 2 sets of hands, 2 heads, 2 wrist blasters, 2 regular blasters, a heavy blaster, and an extra heavy blaster. Next up, we get Olek Tiger again, but this time his affiliation is different. Now he's in the Grave Ring. The first figure is when he goes there. In the prison, the offenses of violent outbursts, open defiance, and attempted escape are grounds for a cell transfer to the Grave Ring. Multiple instances of all of these offenses have earned Olek Tiger a spot in the dreaded block of cells. He comes with 2 hand sets and a staff that has multiple attachments. Next up, it's time to do some army builders, aka Legion builders. First of all, here comes some name butchering, the Sphinx Block Commander, who is part of the TU5CC. We don't know much about the Sphinxian culture. One thing that is certain is that order is maintained through the strict adherence to the hierarchy of the Hive. Next up is the Sphinxian Vixex. I swear to God, I'm gonna get admitted into a speech therapy colony when I'm done this video. Next up is the Vinxian Prison Guard. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't say these names. My tongue hates me. It hates me. Long known as a secretive and secluded culture, the Sphinxian hive colonies of 𝐒𝐸𝐿 have been scattering away with their home as of late. With the preservation of Sphinx culture and livelihood as their motivator, the Sphinxian Prison Guards of 𝐒𝐸𝐿 are a brutal force to be reckoned with. It comes with a blaster, it comes with an electro staff, it comes with 5 sets of hands, and 2 wrist blasters. Pew pew. Next up, we have the TU5CC engineer, who's part of TU5CC. Shocking. While these engineers can often be found attending to the needs of the prison's inner workings, they are more importantly members of the menagerie of individuals attending to High Warden Sloth. Sounds a lot like Jabba the Hutt. This is another Legion builder, and again comes with an electro staff, 2 blasters, and 2 wrist blasters. Next up is another Legion builder, the TU5CC Sentries. The enormous gates of 𝐒𝐸𝐿 prison inspire a sense of foreboding and dread to those who have the misfortune to gaze upon its rusted face. Perched atop its various walls and hiding within its armored shadows are the soldiers known as the TU5CC Sentries. So these are the muscle inside the prison. They come with 2 wrist blasters, a sniper rifle, and heavy blasters. Next up, we have Borga, whose affiliation is the Grave Ring. The Grave Ring is also the cell block known for housing the roughest and most disruptive inmates in the prison. Borga is no exception. He comes with an ultra heavy blaster, a backpack, an ammo belt, and 2 heads. Our last character to make its way to Wave 1 is Zirian's Fire, who is part of the Grave Ring and the Mortal Thorn. Ooh, we don't know that much. Interesting. Once a famous bioengineer on her homeworld of Theros, Ziri rejected the unwanted celebrity status that was thrust upon her. Known for her breakthrough discovery of the regenerative formula eventually known as thyroxium, she disappeared from sight when her discovery was forcefully taken away and used for motives that were less than benevolent. Shocker that happened. She comes with 2 heads, a removable mask, a sniper rifle, 2 blasters, and a hologram attachment. Lastly, guys, we get a couple different accessory packs. First of all, we're getting hands for the TU5CCA guys, as well as a hero hand pack. So that's 2 separate hand packs. We're also going to get a weapons hand pack. Head over to the Nerdzoic toy store. Here's a link. Pre-order these figures. Don't miss out. You'll thank me later. Remember, you have to get old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.